and welcome to Living in the Promised Land, an immigrant rights podcast. This is your host, Mark Shmueli, and today we have our very first in-person interview, and I am in Springfield, Ohio, which was made famous during the election last year in the debate when the president had some slurs to say about the community and what was the impact of the immigrant community. And I'm here to visit and to speak with Viles Dorsainvil. Viles, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
And Viles is the director of the Haitian Support Center, and a place which is very busy. As I came in, there were more cars than there was almost space in the parking lot. Viles, how many Haitian immigrants are in the community?
I think that we do not have really a specific statistics, but generally they speak of around 15,000 to 20. That number might be decreased now based on what has been happening. But yeah, this is roughly the number that we have.
Okay. And so, I'm visiting Ohio. I've got close friends on the other side of the state, and I've spent a bit of time in Ohio. And I can tell you that having spent time with the Haitian community in Miami, I'm from Massachusetts. I know there's a Haitian community in New York, and Springfield, Ohio is quite different from all of those places. And Springfield, Ohio is, for those of us who grew up in the 1980s, my entire adult life has been centered around public policy news, politicians, employers talking about the Rust Belt of the United States. What was once this area, which was the center of the economy of the United States from really the industrial age all the way until cars stopped being really built in the United States and all of the industries that were around them. In Ohio, just like Michigan next door, Indiana, but these were states in the Midwest that were central. And, we all know, we talk about the industrial belt and every president, including President Trump, ran talking about forgotten people, forgotten communities that lost population, lost industry. And so when I taught at the University of Maryland, I taught immigration history and ethnicity. I was fascinated. This was in 2011. I was fascinated by how many of these communities throughout the country were revitalized by immigrant communities. You had, folks from the Middle East in a place called Dalton, Georgia, bringing, a rug industry. And you had people, you had refugees, but refugees going into states like, into places like Minneapolis, bringing skills and culture there. But political refugees, but you also had immigrants settling in communities like one was Denison, Iowa, where a lot of Mexican folks went. And we see right now the also Haitians and West Africans are the meatpacking industries of places like Iowa, and they move into towns and they affect towns and they affect the culture of towns. And this has been throughout history. This is how the United States is built. And the folks that are in this town that have been here for 100 years, they were here when their families came as immigrants at the beginning of the industrial age, many of them. So Springfield is sort of, been thrown in as the center of things. And so, Viles, I want to talk about, your place here. What brought you to Springfield?
Basically, I had been traveling back and forth to Haiti, Jamaica, and the USA since 2013. Mm-hmm. I attended a seminary in Jamaica, and I was sent back to Haiti in 2018 to work as a missionary. But in 2019, things started to aggravate in Haiti when it comes to security. And, there was that tendency in Haiti that if you used to live abroad and came back home to live, all of a sudden folks believe that you have money and automatically you become a target. And my mother suggested that I leave Haiti for my safety. And I came here in Springfield. I left Haiti in December 31st, 2020. I landed in Fort Lauderdale and spent January 1st, as you know, that it's our Independence Day, with a couple of friends in Fort Lauderdale. And I spent January 1st and January 2nd and January 3rd, 2021. I came to Springfield because I had a nephew of mine who was already in Springfield, and he told me it's not a fast town. It's like a peaceful town. And my nephew knows that as a country boy, I do not like fast city. So I came to Springfield, and I didn't come to the USA to stay because I was looking for a job, honestly, because I had a job in Haiti, as so many other folks who were forced to live out of the security concerns. So I came to Springfield, and when I came here, I realized that there are so many Haitians who are coming here by the fact that Haiti is like a communal country. Words have been spreading rapidly, and if I know that there is an opportunity somewhere, I will invite another friend to come in. And folks came to Springfield out of pure word of mouth, and just to find a safe place to stay and find a job and send their kids to school. This is what attracts the folks to Springfield.
Okay. And so this center here, tell me a bit about what it does, how it was built.
Yeah, basically, the center was founded right after, or I can say some weeks after the bus accident that killed that 11-year-old.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, so it was like an unfortunate situation where a Haitian driver was driving back from work in the morning, and there was a kind of accident between the minivan that he was driving and a school bus. There was already some misunderstanding about the Haitian comings to Springfield, but that accident was like the accident fueled the situation. People were making all bad comments and everything, and we got a pastor in town, Pastor Carl Ruby, and when he was watching like a city hall meeting and listening how folks were talking about the Haitians in town, and he went to the town hall meeting just um, to help folks to understand that accident can happen and try to calm the tension down. And after that, he called a meeting with the pastors just to better give orientation to the immigrants coming to town. And we realized that there should be a nonprofit or grassroots organization serving Haitians. And the idea of the Haitian Support Center came out of that. So we were founded in December 2023, and we've been there since then. And our responsibility, we work in 3 areas. It's like education, integration, and advocacy. And those are the 3 umbrellas we are operating under. We're making sure that when immigrant comes to town, they have this place to come for them to, if they want to know how to get the driver's license, if they want to know how to open the bank account, if they want to know where the driving schools are, if they want to set up their utility bills account. We are helping with all of this, and we support as well with food distribution at times, and just making sure that they're okay with the transition coming to town. Yep.
So you were saying that how the center got started.
Yes. Yeah. So we were founded in December 2023. And our focus, basically integration, advocacy, and education. Education in the sense that we know folks who came here would need to know the culture, would need to speak the language, would need to make sure that they know what the country is about and the opportunity that is there for them. And we educate them on this, how to get an employment or whatever. Integration has to do because when they are coming, maybe they need some support to integrate while they're transitioning. And we're making sure that we are finding resources that can help them or support them while they are here working or trying to find a job. And advocacy is making sure that when they come here, they will need to be in touch with immigration attorney for adjusting their status. And we're making sure that we are linking them to those resources as we're moving forward. So yeah, that's exactly what we've been doing.
I noticed when I came in that you and your staff were talking about sending somebody to an attorney. So you were.
Yes, basically, it's sometimes we connect them to a pro bono attorney as well.
Right.
So we just accompany them and interpret for them because they don't speak their language, and making sure that their needs are being met as they are looking to stabilize their lives in the community.
So what, I mean, I know that in this town, there has been an increase of businesses coming in. I know Honda's here, Dole, the Tupre, which is a Japanese
auto parts
company, and you mentioned that your brother works for the Amazon distributor here.
Yes, he works at the West Jefferson facility, and where so many Haitians work as well.
So we see that throughout Ohio in general, most of Ohio is pretty rural. Yeah. And so throughout rural Ohio, we see, I know Google is setting up plants. I know that, there's all of these, chip factories are coming from the CHIPS Act from a few years ago. So Ohio is rebuilding. And what role would you say the community has played in that?
I think that with the coming of the immigrants in Ohio or in Springfield, in particular, they have been contributing towards the economy of the country because they constitute like a workforce for the community, and they are hard workers, and they work and they pay taxes. And folks who are living in Springfield, they do not only work in Springfield, but also they work in Vandalia, they work in Versailles, they work in Dayton area, they work in Columbus. So they went all over those places and work and bring the money back to Springfield. This is a very good thing for the community in Springfield when you have so many folks working and bring the money to the community. And the second thing is that not only they try to help those companies with production, but as well they open businesses, they buy houses, they making sure that the integration is okay in the community and give services. And what is good about that is that these are folks who are mostly professionals in Haiti, who left Haiti and who knew before how to do business. And the only problem that they have is just the language barrier. Other than that, they have all the skills necessary for any community, skills that would help the community moving forward. So I think that Springfield has been blessed with the presence of these immigrants here in town.
So what do you think, is language the biggest challenge to integration?
Yeah, it is. Although, that Haitians speak sometimes 3 languages or 4 languages, but, so many of them still need to learn English. And the good thing about it, once they know where there is an English class, they will show up and learn. So once they know where there is a driving shop, they will show up and learn. And this is, I think that I call them progressive immigrants because they're not sitting back and watch a thing happen to them. They are participating. They get involved. They go to work. They go to meetings. They go to school. To me, this is, for me, what immigrants should do when they come to a place, to make sure that they contribute towards the well-being of that place.
So what was interesting to me reading about, this bus accident, which was such a focal point for it was a kind of a simmering pot beforehand. What brought much to the surface was that the comments from the people that were on the council, including the mayor, were, I think one of the council members said, bad driving or causing an accident or reckless driving is not inherent to any one community, and we know that, and throughout the United States. So this was, the attacks from the community were on the Haitian community, but they were also on the political leaders who had been working so closely with the community and didn't see any issues that were mentioned otherwise. Rises in crime, rises in the other poverty, taking of jobs, and we heard from the business community. Was on the national news about how the worker, having this extra community of workers has allowed them to increase and build businesses here, and create larger employment.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that the bus accident was like an unfortunate situation, and accident happens. And back home they say that there is anyway just to prevent accident. Accident is accident anywhere. But I think that too. Folks are learning from that, and they tell themselves that they will try to work with any type of effort that is being put on just to make sure that that does not happen again. That was the lesson learned. And the other thing that is, they keep focus on what led them here, on what caused them to come to Springfield. What is the cause is them leaving Haiti because of the insecurity. Of course, there are some of them who left Haiti because of means of and in search of a better life. But there are a great majority of professors of university professors, professionals who left Haiti not because they wanted a job, but the situation in Haiti kind of pushed them away. And as you said, when they came here, they do not see themselves as being high-ranking people back home. They go back to work to become a factory worker, because at the end of the day, they have to take care of themselves and the kids, and also to contribute to the community as immigrants. This is the beauty about it. And as I said before, these are not immigrants who will come to the city and take social benefits and not doing anything. As a matter of fact, me myself, I used to work as a case manager at the Department of Jobs and Family Services. I used to process people application for SNAP or Medicaid and cash assistance.
Was that for the state of Ohio?
Yeah, for the agency they call Jobs and Family Services.
Oh, okay.
So I witnessed that for those of them who are eligible for some type of benefits, once they get a job, they call the agency and ask them to shut down the application, and they don't need that anymore, because they did not come here to be on social benefits. They come here to work, and people know Haitians for being hard workers. So that's their goal being here. And the second thing, there is some type of misunderstanding between when you are a refugee and when you are simply an immigrant. The refugee of folks who left the country because of war, because of bad conditions, I can say that the condition of Haiti would entitle Haitians coming here to be a refugee, but it's not the case.
Right.
We are under the category of immigrants.
Right.
And refugees, sometimes there are some social benefits that they can get for free. Okay. But for immigrants, not all immigrants are eligible for social benefits. Like myself, I was not eligible for social benefits. People on the TPS was not eligible for social benefits.
So TPS meaning
temporary protected status.
And that's something that's given when the president determines that a country is unsafe to return to, and it can be for a natural disaster, it can be for war, it can be for just a total breakdown, which I think it fits Haiti right now. A total breakdown of internal security.
Yes.
And Haiti is just it doesn't really have a government that functions and that can provide security to the community. And I think it's important that nothing has really changed in Haiti. I don't believe there's commercial flights going to Haiti right now.
No, the international airport in Port-au-Prince has been shut down for more than 7 or 8 months now.
And the administration has determined that that status needs to end, and there needs to usually be a determination that that the country is secure, and that's in litigation right now. And I know the governor was here. The governor of Ohio, DeWine, was here over the weekend saying, "Well, we're monitoring the situation," as if everybody else in the community wasn't already monitoring the situation and how it can affect the workforce. But that was sort of it. But it's nothing has changed, and it's bad. And I think it is important, the point you made, that when you have, kind of marauding gangs, when you have that level of, groups that take power through intimidation, that people coming from the United States are considered to be wealthy, no matter what, right? I mean, they're considered to be, and they know you come from the United States because, well, I mean, I don't know how they'll get there, but they can monitor, they can see, and they can know. It's like you said, it's a small community, and people will know that. And so, I know that's in the courts. There's different decisions. It's simply, and right now, so it's either going to end in the fall or in February as of now. But, things with that, it can always change. And so how is that affecting the community overall right now, knowing this could or couldn't end?
The TPS status has allowed folks to stay here and work and everything. Originally it was supposed to expire in February 3rd, 2026. And when the Trump administration came, they reduced it to August 2nd, 2025. And with 60 days grace period that would end on September 3rd, 2025. But the last decision of Judge Corgan in New York kind of put it back to its original expiration date, which would be February 3rd, 2026. I think it's just around the corner. I don't know how that will be after, but I think that it will be hard for immigrants who have not been able to adjust the status to another status that might be more permanent. But the judge's ruling kind of gave a short period of time to folks just to develop some type of personal plan or family plan to know what to do. But I believe that Haiti will not get back on track by that time, because if you are watching the news, the situation gets worse from day to day in Haiti, where gangs have been controlling over 90% of the capital of Haiti. So, and the second thing, I think that the workforce will be impacted as well, because I know so many employers will lose their workers. And as we are talking currently, is what we are facing with folks who came under the humanitarian program, whose work permits are being revoked. Last Monday, last week, we went to a company to help folks to understand why they are being laid off, because those folks were under the humanitarian program. But I am imagining the same scenario as of February 3rd, 2026, when TPS is expired. If the administration is not open to renew that status, it will be the same thing so many folks will be laid off by the employers, and I'm not sure it will do justice to the country's economy.
Yeah, and I know that employers have been saying that also. I mean, when you talk about advocacy, what is your advocacy mostly around?
This is what I'm doing here is one of the advocacy work, making sure that I put my voice out on behalf of the community. And that's one thing. And the second thing is um, tell our own stories instead of letting folks tell who we are or telling lies about us, things that we are not.
Right.
And the third thing is to make sure that we link folks in the community with the right people that can help them, that can advocate on their behalf, that can help them with their status, that can give them some pieces of advice in terms of what to do. This is advocacy work that we have been putting on moving forward.
So, so who are your partners in the community?
Basically, we can say every institutions who understand our struggle, every organization who that understand where we're from. Now we have the pastors in the community. They have a group that called G92. Just
G92.
Yes, just to try to.
What does that stand for?
I think it's the G is like a Greek word for sometimes that have to do with togetherness or whatever. The goal is to come together in solidarity with immigrants, and some of them are offering the church as sanctuary. Those of them who cannot normally give open the church to be sanctuary will support other churches that will do that. And the second group is like Springfield Neighbors United. They call themselves the caring majority.
Okay.
Their responsibility is to make sure that the
Springfield Neighbors United. Okay.
And they just like making sure that they meet and try to understand what is going on and care for the new neighbors, the immigrants community, whether it is Latinos or Haitians. They are here to understand what is going on and taking action that could normally help people to understand that those folks are here, they're not criminals, they're hard workers, and they have kids as everybody else. They are human beings. They have that instinct of survival as everybody else. They have the basic needs as everybody else. What it has to do with the shelter, with food, with love, with security. They have that same needs that everybody else have. So if they don't have any criminal records and they try to work and they have the kids to school and they try to build a life here, why all of a sudden they become a target? What is their crime? So by the fact that when they see that they're just peaceful people, and they say no, the Bible compels us just to stand with the strangers, to welcome the strangers. We have to stand with those people.
So is pretty much the entire religious community in Springfield with you?
I wouldn't exaggerate saying the entire, because everywhere there is positive and there is negative.
Sure.
But I can dare to say the majority of people in town would like to see us here and stay here and build our life here, by the fact that they've witnessed what we are doing in the community. And I think that they see that we do good to the community and they want us to stay here.
And, one of the things, because it was in 2014, that the town actually issued a welcoming compact to immigrants to come in, and that's what, to work in these jobs and all. So we now have really 11, 12 years of Haitian immigration to Springfield. And so it's, people who are, went to school when they were 7 are now graduating high school here and leaving. So, there is, it's not a multi-generation time here, but there is, you all didn't just come yesterday. And so and it would be, we know that any immigrant communities that come into a place, there is the, from the studies, there is a bit of growing pains of like language and all of these things, but now there really is this, more of a foothold, not the full foot, but there, and if, at the federal level, if there is no protected status, people aren't able to work, that's going to throw a whole new wrench into the businesses here, and probably they'll move out if they can't have the employees here. They'll just move, and that will throw a state which is recovering, as you said, the holistic economy, a state which is recovering, just like all the states around it, just like, anywhere that built things back into the Rust Belt times of the 80s when, the bottom fell out. And it's also, I know, a little bit, crazy when we talk about, putting up tariffs so things can be built here.
Mhm.
And looking to these states. I mean, Ohio is like the central state politically as far as, how do you rebuild the economy here?
Yeah.
And this is the traditional way that economies have been built throughout US history. And now this is also a tradition. Sometimes this is to go the other way, where people in the community, might feel threatened, might feel, whatever that might be, to push them out. So it sounds like there is this debate within the community, and that's kind of where your advocacy goes. So so what are some of the other, what is your fastest growing service that you're providing here?
I think the job search would be one. Language services would be another. Because basically folks are not that much looking for I can say folks are just looking to understand the community that they are coming to live. And I think that once they come, they want to know the basic thing to do. How they can find an apartment, how they can do a housing application, and where they can go to work, and how they can speak the language. So those are some of the needs immigrants basically would look for when they come to a community. Housing, jobs, language, banking, all those kind of services. You would see them come here, and we be called to Buatois Edison or a Columbia Gas just to set up the accounts. They would come here to get like a banking service in terms of calling the bank for them and walk them through the process of setting the account. So if we can go to the bank with them, that would be one thing as well. So those are the services that we are offering. And also, there is the winter time here. Haitians are not used to winter time. So we are training them in terms of how to fix their windows, how to keep the heat, and if they smell natural gas, what behavior they should adjust, because Haiti is just like a tropical country, not using natural gas that much.
Right.
And Haiti, so we do training on if they want to buy homes. We do training for them on real estate and what they have to do for people not to take advantage of them, because when you get to some place, you don't speak the language in another culture, you become an easy target. Anybody can take advantage of you, but our responsibility is to make sure that that is not happening to our people. So those are the services that we
Well, and when I got here a bit early, and I went to the coffee shop down the road, and the barista there, Bree was talking. She's a sophomore in, so she'll be a rising junior in high school here. And I asked her about the community in her high school and her teachers and how they're reacting. And she said, "Oh, the teachers are all liberal or whatever." I said, "Well, they're human. I mean, their first thing is to a student." And when I hear business leaders in town, I mean, that was my, and I'm going to, interview her a little bit after about her experience. But when I hear, on the news, when we hear the business leader, the managers at these plants, talk about, the workers being, getting along just to, as workers. And that's just, it's kind of even, I feel it's almost even condescending to say that, as if it's not normal, as if any of these lies and these things are true. And they're not even, we hear them, they're not even worth, repeating. But that when a community functions, and this is the one thing that is a kernel in the United States, which has always been true, that the United States doesn't, rest on class. Now there was a long history of people having resentment towards immigrants and things, but really when it comes to making money, that is the key in the United States. And it does, sometimes trump what happens in the community, but that, people in the workplace just want workers to show up and they don't want, and obviously, respect for hierarchy, all those things in a workplace, but also, you don't see tensions at workplaces here. You don't see tensions in school.
No.
So, I'm wondering, I mean, the bits of, resentment you hear in the community don't come from otherwise the community leaders per se, the businesses coming in, even the people elected.
Yeah, basically, I think that I always say that there is, I always say that Springfield is a welcoming community. I can say the hate crew is not that much. They're just vocal. But at the end of the day, my experience in Springfield is that I encounter more folks who showed humanity and who are open to listen, to understand, and to take action for a solution. I participated in town hall meeting. I heard the leaders, the local authorities. I see that they have more an inclusive leadership approach.
Yeah.
That's for me is fascinating. They are making sure that their actions is not strictly targeting a particular group, but the actions are strictly targeting the whole community. They understand the struggles when it comes to so many people coming to town, and the town was not prepared for that. It's okay, and they understand that they give time to citizens to speak and express their concerns in the town hall meetings, which is a very good thing. But at the end of the day, they are there for the prosperity of the community. They are there for the betterment, for the good of the community. And they understand that locals and non-locals can work together towards that common purpose of seeing a better Springfield. So I like this. And to me, this approach will help us moving forward as human beings, where we do not see the strangers as a threat, but we see the strangers as people we can take time to understand And at the end of the day, it's gonna be beautiful. That way, we're gonna be blended together. So I see Springfield as being diverse, and I always say that um, to me, unity is not uniformity, but unity is like the celebration of diversity. Um, I can sit down and listen to, and you listen to me, and you understand my concern, and I understand your concern. As human being, we can come to a common ground and say, "Hey, I misinterpreted that thing because I didn't know, I didn't understand it that way." And I can tell you, most of the panel discussion that I participated, um, I encountered folks who have different opinion than what I have. I encountered folks who are telling lie about my cultures. But after the panel discussion, I try just to confront those people and say, hey, if you want to know something about me, about my culture, I'm here. We can talk. We are human beings. We can have a conversation. We can have a decent conversation where I respect your opinion and you respect my opinion. But I wouldn't like you to go ahead and delve the things that you're being misinformed about, because I can tell you what you just told on the panel is totally wrong. Um, but what you have to understand, sometimes in any given community, there will be folks who will be acting based on their political loyalty because they're being loyal to their political party. And those folks are not looking for the truth. They are looking to compensate what they believe is true. They will act based on their feelings, on their emotions. When it comes to the stranger, they will not like to fact check what they are saying. They will just say it. The second thing is that there are folks who are pretty much relying on what the social media is putting out there. They do not want to know if this thing is accurate. They will tell you, because there is that kind of people are consuming what a specific outlet is saying because they have been watching that outlet for a long time. And whatever is coming out of that outlet, they will consume it without fact checking it. So that's human being. That's the way we are moving. That's the way we are operating. It will take common sense for some folks to know, even though I am the partisan of that political party, even though I am the fan of that particular leader, but common sense requires that I balance things in a way that will not hurt another human being. It requires a huge and a high capacity from a human being to act this way, to say, okay, I will listen to my leader, I will listen to what he says or to what she says, but at the end of the day, I have to look for the truth, because before anything, we are human beings, we are God's people. So that needs to be respected and treated with dignity. So yeah, so my experience since the last fall, or since the time I've been here, I have been experiencing the worst things in America when it comes to bigotry, discrimination, injustice, and everything. But at the same time, I have been experiencing the best of America when it comes to folks who are taking time to say, no, we cannot marginalize this group of people based on our emotion or based on what somebody says without fact checking it. I experienced folks who drove from other states to come here just to sympathize with us. They send cards to encourage us with beautiful way that we stand with you. They express the concern saying that we are in solidarity with you. You're not alone in this fight. So we are encounter the heart of America, and I can tell you there are more in America, even though the country is taking that route, but I see humanity in people. I see people as good Samaritan based on my Christian faith. And what I like in America is that you have a strong civil society as comparing to developing countries or comparing to poor countries where the civil society is weak. The civil society in America is stronger, and folks will take action to counteract what is wrong. That's what I've been experiencing. So,
Yeah.
Because as I just said before, the core value, the foundation of America is that melting pot idea where folks can come together and say, hey, we can contribute towards the well-being of this country, where folks can come someplace and say, I can build my life here based on the opportunity that I'm being offered. That's the America I used to know when I was growing up, when I was reading in books. This is the America that used to be the beacon of the world based on how they welcome strangers and the opportunity they give to them for their lives. That's the America I know.
Well, and also I think as a larger, because the people that are saying things, the leadership, they're not here, they're not in the community. And I think there's this often will happen to keep people whose interests are very much the same, divided, working people, like, so the Haitian folks working alongside of people who've been here forever and even other immigrant groups at these plants, well, they're going to want rights and those kinds of things, and it stops the solidarity, because when you tell people, well, the reason that you're not getting these breaks, the reason you're not getting these things is because of them, well, then the interests aren't the same. And once you get rid of the bigotry part of it, people's interests come the same. You want you want the things that are being cut all around, in the school system. You want the services for kids that are, have needs, whether they're Haitian kids, whether they're kids whose parents have been here for generations or family been here for generations, or whether they're second, third generations from, Central or South American kids. Their interests are all the same. But when you focus on people as people causing the problem, then you take away that part of the United States where people have struggled here for worker rights and for a clean environment and for things to make the community better. And so you hurt everybody there, because, whether you came last week or whether you came last century, a couple centuries ago, everybody wants, good-looking housing that's rebuilt. Everybody wants parks for their kids. Everybody wants safe drinking water. Everybody wants the things that, to combat climate change. And we see all the flooding that's been happening in Ohio this week. And we see these things, and there's nobody across the board that's not an interest to. But when you do this, you divide the community to make Springfield, from the ground, a better community. So cheaper gas, cheaper food, cheaper whatever it might be. So those are the things. So let me just end here on what is the best support that folks, I know people from around the country have been supporting Springfield. What's the best way that people can support?
Just it can start from a simple phone call, a simple card, a simple way of looking into how you can be part of the solution, even from a distance. whether you're joining the Springfield Neighbors United or you're joining the United too, or you just look for the Haitian Support Center and connect with a student who is learning English, who would like to have a partner to practice.
Can people do that remotely?
They can do that. So, yeah. So whether you are supporting the work through some type of donation, whatever you feel like.
So how can people contact directly if they want to tutor kids? They want to, practice English.
They can go on our website, HaitianSupportCenter.org.
Haitian
Support Center
Support Center.org. Okay.
So they can send us an email or make a phone call.
Okay.
And they can take it from there and we'll walk them through the process of doing that. So yeah,
And they can donate financially.
if through that website as well. So we are grateful for the way folks have been standing in solidarity with us here in Springfield. We'll continue to work towards the community being a better community for everybody.
Mhm.
And that's our goal.
Yeah, well, listen, thank you. And I think it is important that people, you hear something like that, don't just talk to your friends about how awful it is because, historically these things have been awful and there's going to be, we have to know those voices are here. We have to know the struggle we have just to be, seen sometimes and really the danger that can put into the physical danger and all of that. But the way to combat that is, I think the way that you were talking about is to, flood with offers of tutoring people, flood with offers of, cards, whatever it is to, if you have a religious institution where you are, partner, be in solidarity and just, give your voice. And that's what I think was encouraging was seeing this high school student. When I said what I was doing here, she said, it's great. And I can talk to you all day. I grew up here. I can tell you because people within the community, especially young folks, don't want, they want hope. And that message is a dead end message. Now, again, are there challenges when people come to a new community? Absolutely. There's challenges whenever anybody comes to a new community. There's challenges when, the school systems have, consolidate and have more students. Those of us who live in very populated areas know that, we have challenges with overcrowded schools, no matter who's in there. And sometimes it's a growing immigrant community, and sometimes it's not. But they're the same issues. And when we divide them, and we divide employment issues and worker rights issues and environmental issues, and we blame a community, which each of those things does, it kills the solidarity, it kills the community that's growing. And I think younger folks that are here, they don't want to move out because their family drove people out and didn't want them. They're not going to stay because, they have a long life ahead. And there's a new generation of people, no matter where you are, that kind of, they have the vision of what the United States was supposed to be if it's ever been reached. And that's the positive part of the community. So listen, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
And it was great. It was great to visit here.
Thank you
to visit with you. And, we'll have you on a Zoom, seeing what happens with TPS. And that is the one thing that really folks on a larger scale, right to the White House, get your Congress people to push for that, because there really is no, if you look at the conditions in Haiti, there's no reason right now that it's safe. There's no reason that it is a danger for people to go back, and that's important. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.